Okay, here we go. Let's talk about the classwork for Lab 1 for BEH383. This is the Blackboard window here. I know mine looks a little different from yours. So you've looked at the notes, you've watched the videos. They'll be up when you look at them. I just made them right now. And hopefully those are making sense. Took a look at the practice inserting data practice, and then now we're on to the classwork. So for each lab, we'll have a classwork assignment, and there'll be the formal SPSS assignment 1. So the classwork we do together. So if you're in the hybrid class, we'll be doing this together. You don't necessarily you can use this for reference or review, but we'll be doing this together. Of course, if you're fully online, this will be your class. And then everyone has to do the SPSS assignment 1. It's going to mirror the classwork very closely, but you have to do it independently. And this you submit for participation points. This one will be for a grade. So this is for out of 50 points. So I'll look at that, grade that one really closely and make sure it's just right. So to do the classwork, you'll download the classwork document, and here that comes. I'll just put it there, and that should look something like, here it comes, like that. Click the little yellow bar, and you'll want to do a save as maybe so that you can save it when you're done and then upload it again for participation points. So this is the same as the end of the slides. So when you got down here, it said class like lab 1 classwork, they overlap. So same thing here, same thing here. Here's the instructions, part 1, part 1, part 2, part 2, same thing. So you can transition right from the slides into the assignment. Okay, so I'll go ahead and then what you'll do is you'll click on the video, that's this video right now. So if you're watching this, then you already clicked on it. It's not clicked yet because I'm making it still. Okay, so here is the classwork assignment. Here is SPSS. We'll do this in. And so again, what I'm doing here is I'm going to just go through this just like we would in class. You can pause it, go back, work ahead, but basically you want to make sure that you're doing it right. And then on the homework, the formal assignment, we'll do the same kind of thing. So we have Russell and Mr. Fredrickson in front of Fenton's Ice Cream, counting the red and blue cars. And the first thing we have to do is create this in SPSS, a fresh data set. So I opened up a blank window in SPSS, and first thing we need to ask ourselves is how many variables are there? Sometimes people will get confused between observations and variables. There are, looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 14 observations. So it is over 14 days, but there are 2 variables: number of cars and weather. Okay, so this should just be right down here. So cars, weather. It's just side by side to save space on the page. So 2 variables. So we'll name the first one number of cars. I didn't put spaces because it won't let me. Oh, well, let me use the pound sign either. Okay, we'll just put cars. And then over here, we'll put number of cars. There we go. See, it won't even let you put pound signs over there. It's very picky. So my first variable is number of cars, and level of measurement will be, anyone know? Scale, right? Because there's an order to them. 25 is more than 26. I'm sorry, that's not right at all. 25 is more than 16. It's less than 26, less than 32. And a car is a car is a car. The intervals are the same. So 16 to 17 is the same as 17 to 18. So a car is a car is a car. So it's going to be scale level of measurement. And we're not going to code anything. We don't need to, so we don't have to use the values option. And then the variable type will be numeric. We're just going to put numbers in. So that's easy. The other variable is weather. So number of cars and weather. So there's sunny days and there's cloudy days. So we'll create a new variable. We'll call it weather. And then the label, I don't really know what else to add. I could just put weather again. It's not really necessary though. I could put, how about weather condition? Sounds very formal. The level of measurement, well, it's sunny or cloudy. Those are categories of weather. So that's nominal, right? Nominal. Because sunny is not more than cloudy. Cloudy is not less than sunny. And then the type of variable. Well, so we have to be particular because if we just wanted to type in the word sunny, cloudy, then we'd have to use a string variable. But we don't really want to do that. Whenever possible, whenever it makes sense, I should say, it's possible often, whenever it makes sense, we want to code those variables. So we're going to keep it as a numeric variable, okay? And we're going to have to assign values. So we'll say that 1 is sunny, and 2, that's a 2, is cloudy. Add. So 1 is sunny, 2 is cloudy. Okay, so now we've assigned values. If you ever forget what they were, you can click on those the little ellipses there, and you can see what you put. Sometimes when gender is a variable, I'll code it, and it's usually either 0, 1, or 1 and 2. And you might not know, wait, is 1 male or is 1 female? And you could always go back to your variable view and then check. Same thing here. Was sunny 1 or is cloudy 1? Now you can look. Oh, 1 is sunny, 2 is cloudy. Good. So now it's still numeric type because we're going to enter numbers because it's coded. If you wanted to actually write the word sunny, you would have to change this to a string variable. Okay, so we've created our variables. That looks good. We'll go to our data view, and we're going to actually input the values. So now the variables are columns, and the rows are people. This is the most common convention. There are cases, like a repeated ANOVA, where they flip this around, but in this case, person 1, person 2, person 3, and then the variables are here. So person 1, well, in fact, it's day 1. Each of these is a different day. So on day 1, there were 25 cars, and the weather was sunny. So sunny is a 1. And right now it's actually clicked to the letter view, so I could put, I could start to write in the word sunny. It's case sensitive, by the way. Or I could just click on the caret, or I could flip this back to the numeric view and just write the number 1. So a few options here. Right. The next day they saw 16 cars, and the weather was cloudy, which is a 2. The next day they saw 21 cars. The weather was cloudy, which is a 2. The next day there were 32 cars. The weather was sunny, that's a 1. And again, if I wanted to toggle this and see the actual words, I could. Right there, boom, boom, back and forth. And you might notice too, why are there decimals? 25.00. How could you see a half of a car or a tenth of a car? So if you notice, there are no decimals, so it doesn't hurt anything, but if you want, you can go to variable view and change the decimal places to 0. Now when we go back, it just has integers. So that looks a little better. Okay, on day 5, let's see, there were 14 cars, and it was cloudy, which is a 2. Then there were 29 cars, and it was cloudy. And then there were 22 cars. I'm going to change this back to the numeric view, which is 2. And then 18, 2, 25, 1, 23, 2, 28, 1, 9, 2, 23, 1, 30, 1. Okay, so here's all our different days: 25, 16, 21, 32, 14, 29, 22, 18, 25, 23, 28, 9, 23, 30. I'm just double checking my work. I can click this back. So sunny, cloudy, cloudy, sunny, sunny, cloudy, cloudy, sunny, cloudy, cloudy, sunny, cloudy, cloudy. That would be, let's see here, is that one wrong? Oh, see, it's a mistake. It should be sunny. Yep, so that's why good to double check your work. Cloudy, sunny, cloudy, sunny, cloudy, sunny, sunny. Okay, perfect. All right, so now we have all our data inputted. We have our variables set up correctly. So now we can go forward with the assignment. Okay, so create a new SPSS data set. We did that. After you're satisfied with your data set, well, I'm satisfied because I checked it to make sure it was right. It says use the Analyze Descriptive Statistics Frequencies option to calculate the mean, median, mode, standard deviation, and range of the distribution. You paste the table here. Okay, well, we're going to use our do our first analyses here. So we're going to go up to this option right here that says Analyze. We'll click on that. And that brings down, these are a whole bunch of different types of analyses you can do in SPSS. There's so many different options. And we'll only use a few of them. Really, between both of these classes combined, we won't even use more than half of them. There's so many to choose from. So we're going to start with Analyze Descriptive Statistics, and we're going to go to the Frequencies option. So these three top ones, Explore, Descriptives, and Frequencies, gives you a lot of the same information but in slightly different ways. So for this we're going to use Frequencies because it lets us have the mode and median. If you go to Descriptives, it doesn't give you those options. It only gives you the mean for central tendency. So that's why we have to go to Analyze, Descriptives, Frequencies. So here is where we pick the variables we want to analyze, then we tell it which statistics we want it to give us. So here's dispersion, that's the same as variability, and then central tendency. So it's exactly the kind of stuff we're used to. So it says we want us to calculate the mean of the range of the distribution. So we can't find the mean, median, and standard deviation of the weather conditions, so it's got to be cars, right? So we click on cars. We click this arrow right here, it brings it over to this box. We don't need the frequency tables, we'll unclick that. Now it says you turned off output. Unless you select it, this procedure will not run. So basically the default in here is nothing, so I just turned off the one thing it was going to do, so now it's set to do nothing. So I have to click on statistics and tell exactly what I want. So I want mean, median, mode, so central tendency. And then I want standard deviation and range. So standard deviation, STD, and range. By the way, here's the variance. Remember that from the lecture notes? We're not really using it, but it's a function of standard deviation. It's just not standardized. So this is everything we want. We can also get minimum, maximum, those kind of things. So we just want these options right now. So we'll click continue, and we'll click OK. And now here's our new window. So we've been used to the viewer window with the two views. Now we have the output window. And this is every time we do anything in SPSS, it's going to pop up with some information in here. And sometimes it's something you want to see, like this table right here. And sometimes you'll do the smallest thing, like save your file or whatever, and then it's going to pop up and get right in the middle of your screen and tell you, I saved the file. Look at me. It really wants attention. It's like a small child. But in this case, we do want this table over here. So it says paste the resulting table into Word. So I have a little note here, paste it here. So I'm going to delete that. We don't actually need the words, paste it here. So I'll make some space. Maybe center that. So pasting output from the output window. It's not super intuitive. There's different ways to paste it. So if you right click on this, you're going to get these options right here. Cut, copy, copy special, paste after, export, auto script, edit content, lots of options. What we want is copy special. Okay? So you're going to right click, copy special. And that's going to give you these options right here. Now, yours is probably going to look something like, I don't know, maybe like that. And if you copy special or if you just copy regular, it's going to come out a little bit funny over here. It's going to be hard to edit and resize, and it's going to be hard to resize and move around the page. So whenever we copy it, we want to copy it, hit copy special. We want it to be an image file, a JPEG. So what you'll have to do is whatever is clicked, unclick those and only click image. Only click image. Click save as default, so you don't have to keep changing it. Click OK. And now it's saved as an image. When I go over here, I can right click and hit paste. And here it is. And it's here as an image file. And it's a little easier to work with than say as a table or something like that. If you want to have as much control as possible over how to put it on the page, you can right click on this, go to wrap text, and go to square. And now it's going to go exactly wherever you want it. It's very easy to manipulate. Only problem is sometimes the words are going to come up and get in the way. So I have to move those questions down there. And then I can resize it. Look, I can make it big, I can make it little, I can put it over here. If I wanted to put a bunch of tables next to each other, I could. It gives me a lot of options. I can also crop it. Like if I didn't want this information here, I could double click on it, left click, and then have the crop option come up. Click on that, and I could actually say, I don't even need to see this right here. unclick, and there it goes. So now I can resize that. So that's the way I recommend pasting it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pause here, and then on the next video, we'll walk you through how to answer all those questions.